Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review Creepshow number 1. But before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, commenting, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right, we got the cover here for Creepshow number 1. It is an Image comic, and it is by Chris Burnham, Paul Dini, Stephen Langford, and John McCree. And this book is an anthology, so there's 2 stories in here, and I'll go through both stories just to give you guys a little taste of what it's like. In the first story, we start out on Halloween night, and there's 3 kids that are trick-or-treating, and they go to this abandoned house because there's a bowl of candy that just seems to be abandoned, and of course there's a note that says, "Take just one." And there's 2 older kids that just want to take it all, but the younger kid that's with them feels really guilty and he doesn't want to. And they end up peer pressuring him into taking more than 1 candy bar. And the little kid feels so guilty about this, he eats one of the candy bars to get rid of the evidence of his crime. And as he's getting rid of the candy wrapper evidence, he sees out of the corner of his eye the previous owner of the house where they got the candy bars from. So he runs away in terror, freaking out. And when he does that, he knocks the candy out of the older boy's hands. And as they stoop down to pick it up, someone approaches them from behind. And that's where I'm going to stop. I don't want to spoil any more of this one. And the second story starts with the mother trying to get her daughter's birthday party ready at the last second. She tries to find a clown or some sort of party entertainer, but she has no luck until someone rings the doorbell. And as she goes outside, she sees there's no one there, but there is a pamphlet left for a party entertainer named Shingo. So she decides to go with that because she has no other options. And surprisingly, Shingo's a big hit at the party. All the kids love him. He's a little crazy and weird, but the kids are having fun. At least some of the kids are, because one of them gets mouthy, and as the birthday girl tries to figure out where this character is from, thinking it's a Pokemon or something like that, we see Shingo pick up the mouthy kid, and the next thing the birthday girl knows is that kid's not at the party anymore. So while the adults are outside talking, one of them goes to see and make sure that the kids are okay. And as she goes inside, she's grabbed by Shingo and she disappears as well. And that's where I'm going to stop this one. I don't want to spoil anymore. So you might know Creepshow from the movies or even the TV show that's on Shudder right now. And basically what it is the Tales from the Crypt format where there's multiple horror stories and they usually have some kind of twist ending. So that's the basic format of this comic. And I was a big fan of the movie when I was a little kid. And also the Shingo section was written by Paul Dini. And I'm a big fan of him from the Batman animated series, so I figured I'd pick this one up. I thought the first story was a little bit lackluster, but it did have some cool gory moments, and it didn't pull any punches with the violence, so it had that going for it. And I thought the second story that was by Paul Dini was more fun and interesting, and I couldn't really tell where that story was going the whole time, because at first it seemed like it was pretty straightforward, but there's definitely some twists and turns that happened at the end. I thought the art was pretty strong in both stories, and I always liked John McCree's art from his comics in the 90s, so it was cool to see his stuff again. So I think if you're a fan of the movie, and you don't mind the anthology story format, then you'll probably like this one. I wasn't like blown away by it or anything, but it was definitely fun, and I thought the Shingo story by Paul Dini was pretty interesting, and I'm interested to see what the stories are in the next couple issues, because while I don't mind the basic kind of horror story, I'd like to see more like the second story, which are more unique and not so cookie cutter. But it was a pretty fun first issue, so I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. So if you saw anything you liked, definitely go pick that up at your local comic book store, and we will see you on the next one.